Hi, my name is Noah, and today I'll be talking about planaria because I think they're kind of cool. They're really small, they're only about a centimeter long, but they're the little like aquatic worm things we saw with the big black eyes that we saw in lab in the little like water jar. Um, so planaria actually is their scientific name. It refers to their genus. Um, there's many types of planaria. Some can be much bigger, but generally today we're going to be talking about the smaller species, similar to the ones that we saw. Let's see, all right. So planaria are kind of cool in my opinion because they're actually not parasitic flatworms, unlike most of the other flatworms that we know of, like flukes and tapeworms, which we also saw in lab. Um, all other or most other flatworms are parasitic, but not planaria. They're carnivores, and that means they're free living. They eat through their mouth-like structure called the uh, protrusible pharynx. They use this for feeding, but they have an incomplete gut, so it's the same place that they dispose of waste as well. And we'll talk about more how they hunt and what kind of stuff they eat in the next slide. But as for the natural habitat, they can live on land, but they're mostly aquatic. They mostly live in fresh water. They tend to like shallower waters like rivers and streams. Um, and they tend to live underneath like rocks and sediments. Right? So for their predator-prey relationship, planaria tend to live together in large groups, which is a survival tactic against predators. They're pretty small, so they're near the bottom of the food chain and generally are eaten by a wide array of fish and amphibians, as well as insect larvae living in the water. For prey, they hunt by wrapping themselves around often smaller organisms like shrimp or worms or other worms, and they secrete a mucus that helps like break down their prey. Um, Here in the picture, this is from a YouTube video of a planaria, the little like white blob on the right side of that shrimp. It's latched onto that shrimp, and it's breaking it down and we'll eat it. All right. So planaria have flat bodies that lack a column, a body column. So they're aculomates. I think it's yeah. So like other protostomes, they are triploblastic, but they lack the rigid support of a body column. Um, they're unique in their evolution of cephalization, meaning that they have evolved a head-like structure, a distinct head. Um, they're very primitive and basic um, as far as their nervous system goes, but is nonetheless present still. Another interesting thing planaria evolved are eye spots. They use them to sense light. They're called ocelli, and that helps them navigate water as well as sense prey, which, you know, I said before, they can break down with that mucus, which they also have evolved that helps devour and digest their prey. And finally, I think the most important thing is their regenerative abilities, um, which we'll talk about more on the next slide, but they have very strong and incredible regeneration. Right? So planaria are flatworms, which means they're part of the phylum Platyhelminths. Um, they are in the animal kingdom. This is where they are in their phylogenetic tree. I got a couple of arrows pointing to it. Um, so, okay, as stated before, move myself a little bit. There we go. As stated before, planaria have a very unique ability to regenerate their bodies through adult stem cells, similar to how like lizards can regrow limbs. Planaria can actually regrow their entire body. Um, Even if more like seemingly vital parts are cut off, they're still able to regrow. So this means that if you were to take a planaria and cut it in half, it would be able to grow into two like distinct organisms essentially, which I mean would be the same, but you know, they're it's still two beings. Um, so this very interesting aspect of animal cell regeneration has been very valuable for us as humans to study because it's very important in the field of like stem cell research in the medical world. If we're able to replicate this ability that these planaria have, we could use it to regrow human organs and tissues, which are, highly important for medical use. And that's about all I have for there. These are my sources. Thank you so much.